So at this point, you should have your graphic done from last week. What we're going to do now is create more or less the shell of your e-learning software. So what we're going to do is kind of clean some things up and then go from there. So what I want you to do is we need to take our graphic and actually make it into a symbol. The reason being is that way, I kind of already alluded to it, that way we can pull them in and we have more control over them. We can actually use code to actually control them a little bit more. It's just a way of sort of like storing it, but also being able to give it extra abilities and such. Okay, so what I want you to do is I'm going to, this is still locked, right? Yeah, so you should have your drawing. Just click and drag over the whole thing. Another thing you can do also is that if you click off of it and then click on a layer, when you click on a layer, it selects everything on the layer. So if I click on this, you'll see it. Well, you can't really tell, but it's selecting the picture too. So I'm going to click on this layer, and then we're just going to hit F8. But if you're on a Mac and it's like play or something, you can also just go to modify, convert to symbol. And I'm just going to call, you should call yours whatever makes sense. So I'm just going to call this Meg Graphic underscore MC because I'm making it a movie clip. There are 3 different options and we're going to play around with those a little bit, but just make it a movie clip and hit OK. All right, now what I'm going to do is we'll just delete that. Okay, if I need it, it's over here and I can grab as many of them as I want. But I'm not going to be worried about it too much. I already made 2 other graphics here. Actually, I got this one as well. You can make your graphics a little bit, but you should only have 1 probably. If you have more, that's fine. But that's all we have to start with. What I want to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to delete this layer. So I'm just going to right click on it and delete layers because I don't really need that. And let's go ahead and start doing the next thing. So what we're going to do is we are going to make basically a slideshow of 4 slides. And then we're going to have it that when we hit the play button, it goes from slide, slide, slide. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I need to make basically a one slide that fits this whole area. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to switch over to the rectangle tool. I'm going to go to the properties, and I think I'm going to choose no stroke, the no smoking here. And then for the fill color, I'm just going to make it white so I can see it. And the other thing I'm going to do, which I know I turned off before, is I'm going to turn snapping on. So I just make sure I snap to the corners of this. So let's just go to view, snapping, and I guess snap a line. And then we'll click here. And then does that, I guess that's sort of snapping. I can't really tell. It doesn't feel like it's snapping really. I'm going to undo that. Let's go to view, snapping. I'm just going to turn them all on in the hopes that one of these will make it what I want. There we go. Like that. Okay, so it should basically fit it. You can see mine does not. So I'm going to hit V, select this. I'll hit Q. And then I'm just going to basically pull this over and up. There we go. That snaps there. I'm just going to go to the top here. I just want to make sure it's perfectly the size of the frame. See, this one's a little bit off too. So we'll pull that up. And then we'll go over here. Okay, so it's a little bit off here. I thought I was closer. I did a really bad job. And then we'll scroll down. There we go. And I don't know how that one got. Oh, you know what? It's scaling from the top. So every time I'm doing this, it's redoing it. So I'm going to hold Alt, which will only scale on the side. Oh, see, it's shifting it though. It's really annoying. Let's do this. Alt and do. I don't know why it's doing such large increments. That's annoying. Okay, well, we can do this. So another way of doing it is I'm gonna click on nothing, and you can see it's 1024 by 768. So I'm just gonna click on this, and we're just gonna type in 1024 by 768. There we go. And now I know it's perfectly the right size. I'm gonna go ahead and put snapping back off. Edit snapping, and I'm gonna turn this all back off because I find them annoying. Okay. So this will be our first slide, and then we'll just make a new one for each one of them. Okay, so I'm just going to select it, and we're going to hit F8 or go to modify, convert to symbol, and just call this slide, capital S, slide 01 underscore MC, and hit OK. Great. Now what I'm going to do is, instead of having to make a new one for each one of them, I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this. I'm going to go to the library. Here's slide 1. I'm just going to hit Control D. Oh, it duplicated it here. Sorry. We'll go over here, right click, and we will duplicate. And we're going to call this one slide 2. We're going to need basically 4 of these. Slide 2. And then we'll just duplicate again. Call this one slide 3. I'm sure you get kind of the idea of what we're doing here. And then one more. And this one will be slide 4. Slide 4. Okay. Just so I can tell that it's working, what I'm going to do is in each one of these, I'm going to double. So this, if I select it and I go to properties, you can see it says slide 1, right? And if I grab, let's say slide 2 and put it over here, you can see if I go to properties, it will say slide 2. Okay. Now just be aware, I could have another one of these, and that one will still say slide 1. All right. But just to make things a little bit easier, it'd be easier if I'm going to leave slide 1 on there right now. But I'm going to put a little number on it so that I know which slide's which, and we'll just delete it afterwards. So I'm going to double click on it, and now you can see I'm inside of slide 1, right? And here's the picture of it. All right. With the slide 1 selected, I'm going to go ahead and rename layer 1, and we'll call this background. Okay. I'm going to lock it, and then make a new layer. And I'm not going to bother naming it because we're going to delete it afterwards anyway. I'm just going to select this, and let's go to properties, see how big it's going to be. 32 is probably fine. I don't want white though because I won't be able to see it. And we'll just put a 1 in there. And I'm going to hit Control A. Let's make it bigger, 72. There we go. All right. I don't really care. I just want to be able to see that that is slide 1. So you just put it in the middle for now. Okay, so that's slide 1. Now I want to do that to the other ones. Now I could take them, drag them over here, double click on them, and then put them in there and do the same thing. But you can also, anything that's in here, you can double click on the symbols in here, and it will open up those symbols, even if they're not existing in here. So I'm just going to double click on the icon of this, and you can see I'm in slide 2. Again, we're going to do the same thing. Background, probably should have done this to begin with. Make a new one, and then we'll just, let's lock you. And I'm just going to put a big old 2 in there. Good. Then we'll just hit the back button. I'm going to go to slide 3, and again, background, enter this, new layer, and we'll put a big old 3. Did I put a 2 on the other? I don't remember if I did it right. Did I make a 2 on that one? I did. Okay. Then we'll go to slide 4, and again, oops, background. Okay. And we'll do make a new layer, lock that one, lock that one, and then we'll do 4. Okay. All right. So now I've got 1, and I want to do 2, 3, and 4. So we're just going to go ahead. I'm going to take 2. I'm going to drag this off and into here, and I want to put snapping back on. View, snapping, snap a line. There we go. And we're going to just snap them right next to each other like so. And we're going to do that with the next one. Take the third one, and we're going to snap this right there. Drag this over, and we'll take the fourth one, and we're going to drag this one right there. Did that? I think that's good. Okay. Looks like that's slightly off. Good. And okay, they're all good there. All right. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. So they're all together. Each one is separate. It's hard to tell because they don't have the colors in them, but that's just the way we're doing it. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to take all of these and make these into a symbol. So select all of them now, and then I'm going to hit F8 or go modify, convert to symbol, and we're just going to call this all slides underscore MC. Okay, so now this is one big symbol, okay? And if I go inside of this symbol, you can see it says all slides. I now have these 4 slides in there, and then I can go inside of this symbol, and then this one will be this slide, and it's got this number, and it's got this, okay? So the idea here is that you're going to make basically, you know, one slide here, you put all your pictures, right? And then you'll go into your second slide, put all your stuff in here, go into your third slide, so on and so forth, okay? So you'll have all 4 of your slides. Now I'm all the way back out into scene. And what I want to do is this. I want that when I click a button, that this is going to slide over, okay? So right now it's real easy. If I hold shift, I can slide, and it's going to go to here. Then I want to slide, go to here. Then I want to slide, and my cursor won't go any farther over, but I want it to go over again, right? And then on the last one, it's just going to start at the beginning again. Okay, so that's more or less what we're after. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to have it take 1 second to go to each slide. Okay, so for this slide 2, so we need to go to at least slide 2. Then we need to go to at least slide or slide 3 and slide 4. Okay, and then lastly to the first slide again. Okay, so we need to go to 4 seconds because it's going to go from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, from 3 to 4, and then 4 back to 1. So we're going to need at least 4 seconds. So we're going to go here, and we haven't done anything with the timeline yet. We're just going to animate this sliding across all the way to 4 seconds. Okay. All right. And what I want to do is we are going to, you can hit F5 or right click and just go insert frame. And now the timeline currently was only 1 frame, which means if we hit play, it would just play 1 frame. And that's all it is. Now, should have been, oh, not insert keyframe. Sorry, insert frame. I still clicked on keyframe. Now this one picture will be held for 4 seconds. Okay. All right, great. Now I just need to animate it. All right. So right now this is just a drawing that's being held for 4 seconds. Nothing's happening. So we need to make it so it's animatable. We're going to right click on it, and you're going to go ahead and do create motion tween. Okay. And you're going to see it's going to change. This is called the span. This is the keyframe. It's going to change the span color to gold. Now what I want you to do is this. We're going to go to 1 second. Okay. And you're going to take this and I'm going to hold shift, and I'm just going to drag it over till I'm, oh man, I can't see where the line is. I don't know where the thing is. Well, that's sort of annoying. I don't know. All right. So what we're going to do, because I don't know where, I thought I would be able to see the lines, but I'm not being able to see them. We're going to go to slide 2, and I'm going to use that ink bottle tool that we used earlier. So go underneath this, go to ink bottle, and we're just going to click. Oh, actually, sorry, the background's locked. We're going to unlock the black background, and we're going to click on it. Let's do, I don't know, 3, so that it has a background border. Okay, we're going to do that on 2, and then we're also going to do that on 4. So I'm going to go to the regular select, go to 4. Okay, so we're inside of 4 here. So I just kept double clicking until I got into 4. See how it says slide 4? You could also just double click on the right. I'm going to unlock the background. I'm going to go to the paint bucket, and we're just going to paint. Go to the paint bucket, and we're going to paint black on it as well. I only need to do those 2 because I'll just use their outlines. I don't need to put it on every one of them. And then we'll take the outlines off afterwards. But that way I can see where we got to go to. So I'm just going to click back to scene. I'm at 1 second. And I just want to make sure, so you can see we were off a little bit. I'm just going to hold shift as I do this. That way it stays straight. And we're just going to go till that is centered. Okay. All right. So now it animates from slide 1 to slide 2. Then we got to go from slide 2 to slide 3. So go here. And again, I'm just going to hold shift as I do this, and I'll bring it over till those basically match up, which looks slightly off. We'll say like that. All right, so now it goes from slide 2 to slide 3. Now we need to go to slide 4. So we're going to take, again, I'm going to hold shift till I get to the end. Voila. Now, I need to go to slide 4 to slide 1. Well, how am I going to do that, right? I can't take this and slap this over there because I'm not part of it. So what we're actually going to do is this. I'm going to go inside of the symbol again. I'm still on select, double click, and on the one that says all slides. And all we're going to do is we're going to take this slide 1 and also put it here. So I could drag it from the library, or I'm just going to hold Alt, which is like duplicate, and I'm just going to slap it over here. Like so. Okay? So now it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 again. I'm going to click back out to scene. And now on the last one here, we're just going to click and drag this to 1. Now you might be like, oh, well, that's a problem though, because how's it going to start there? Well, when it loops, it's going to go right back to, it's going to go to here, which is exactly the same as this one. Remember, they're both derived from the same symbol. Slide 1 is the same here as it is there. So it'll start here, but you won't be able to tell. So in essence, what you're going to end up with is, let's go here, just so you can see. And if I hit enter or hit the play button, you're going to see it's just going to slide from 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1. And if we hit loop and do it, hit loop and do it, it's just going to look like that's going to keep going. Now, in this, obviously, I can tell that it's starting over and over. If you want to test it, you can just hit Control Enter or go to Control Test Movie, and it brought it over here. But you'll see that it's just going to look like it's going from one to the next one. Okay. Now, that doesn't look like much because it's just constantly going. We want to be able to make a button and stuff that makes it happen at certain times. And we will do that in the next video. But for right now, we have our basic animation of it just sliding across.